All right, this is going to be a brief overview of what I call the basic loop in Inventor. So Inventor is a 3D modeling software, and in order to get to a new file on Inventor, you could always go up to File, New, and then this box will pop up, and you just double click, for our purposes, a standard file in English, they call it, or Imperial, aka inches, will be standard.ipt. You can just double click it to open it. But the easier way is when you're on this screen here, you just click Part, and it will open an Inventor file. Now, Autodesk Inventor is an extremely powerful piece of software. It is industry standard. That means, engineers and drafters and designers use this professionally in that world. So there's no difference between what we're using and them. So there's a lot of stuff here. You will see that there is, hundreds of buttons. If you go through all of these together, there is a lot. You don't need to worry about it. Don't make it overwhelming. I'm going to show you a basic loop. You only need some of these tools. So let's get down to the basics here. So when you come into Inventor, you need to click S. Okay? Now, I want you to look at this because this is something you've seen before in math class, and it may not look like it right now, but if I rotate this view here, this is actually a coordinate plane. So you can look up and down, I have my y-axis, and left and right, I have the x-axis. The only difference is because this is 3D modeling, there is a third plane back here called the z-plane because we're in 3D modeling, not 2D. So when you hit S, you prompt Inventor to go from the 3D mode to the 2D sketch mode. So you need to select one of these planes, and you'll learn more about these planes later, but let's just click on the XY plane for now. So I'm going to click. And what happens is, a couple things happen. Inventor rotates, and the toolbar up here changes. You're now in what we call sketch mode. And you can see all of my tools have changed to 2D tools. So I have line, circle, arc, rectangle, and there's a reason why you have these here. It's because pretty much everything that is manufactured and designed is made and created out of these four things: lines, circles, arcs, rectangles. If you think about it, you can probably look around the room you're in right now and you'll find a bunch of rectangles, spheres, circles, lines. That's pretty much it. And there's a good reason for that. So let's get down to how we use this. So we're just going to do some practicing of the main loop. So that's the first part of the loop, is going in from 3D to 2D into sketch mode. Now, let's use the rectangle. Now, notice, again, if you click and start doing these drop downs, there is 1,000 different things you could click on. Don't get overwhelmed. Just click on the top here. Don't go to the drop down, just click on the top. And look at your cursor. It went from a mouse pointer to a crosshair. Okay, that's how you know you're in a tool. You can get out of any tool at any time by pressing escape. And now my mouse is back to a cursor again. I can click and drag boxes and stuff like that. So let's click on a rectangle. And just like a coordinate plane, we have a 0, 0. This is the origin at 0, 0. And oh look, when I hover over it, it like your cursor snaps to it. It makes a big old green point. So let's start to draw there. Let's click once. And when you click, the rectangle tool gets stuck to your crosshairs. So for now, I'm just going to pull out a rectangle like this and click again to stop the rectangle. Now, I can draw as many rectangles as I want, but that's not really how this 3D modeling software works. I'm going to hit Control-Z to get rid of them. We typically do one part at a time in Inventor. So I have this rectangle here, and I intend to make it 3D. So the first step is to enter sketch mode. The second step of the loop is to click, when we're done drawing, we click Finish Sketch. Finishing Sketch brings it back into 3D mode. And you'll notice here, my part is still 2D, which is what we're going to change now, with the third step, which is extruding. Extruding means to just pull something into 3D. So you can do this either by clicking the giant extrude button up here, or you can just hit E on your keyboard. Okay. Now, what happens here is it always brings it out to 1 inch. Okay. Now, this little toolbar pops up. Don't worry about anything in here yet except for direction. So you can change the direction. So you can extrude like on both sides equal to 1 inch. You can extrude back or forward, or you can do like custom sides. But for now, just leave it. And the only thing you need to change is the distance. So it defaults to 1 inch. You could keep it like that for now. But if you wanted to change it, if I type in like 0.5, that'll be half an inch. Or, 2 would be 2 inches. Or, 222 would be 222 inches. So let's leave it at 1. And when you're ready to lock in the extrusion, you press OK. That's the entire loop. Okay, it's that easy. So now, if I want to add another part onto this, let's say I want to put a hole through the middle. So how do I do this? We're going to repeat the 4 steps we just did. S for sketch mode. And now when in sketch mode, you can put a sketch on any flat surface. You can't put it on curved surfaces, but flat surfaces work just fine. So let's put a sketch on here. And now anything I draw will be drawn on this plane. So let me show you. You can rotate around a 3D object by clicking and dragging this, by the way. So look at how everything is drawn on this flat plane. Okay, that's important. So I just wanted you to see that. So I'm going to go back. There we go. So I'm going to draw a circle because we're going to make a hole through this. Okay, and again, you saw it right there. I click and dragged. I clicked and I hit escape to get out of the circle tool. So like, let's say I begin to draw. I can hit escape to stop and get out of it. Okay, I'm going to finish the sketch again. I'm going to hit E for extrude. And instead of going upwards, there's this little thing called Boolean. It's just a fancy word for like operations you do in Inventor. Look at the second one. It says cut. I'm going to click it. It should automatically go through your object. And then, well, that's going all the way through clearly. I'm going to hit OK. And we just made a hole through it. Okay? So it's that easy. Same thing. I'll do one more really quick. S for sketch. Click on a flat surface. I don't have to use just circles and rectangles. I can make my own shapes. So let's make something a little funky. So I'm going to use the line tool. I'm clicking, moving, clicking. Let's make like a thunderbolt shape. Okay. It's a pretty bad thunderbolt, but that's fine. Now, the one thing, and I'm going to do this on purpose, I'm not going to close this. Okay, I'm going to hit escape to get out of the tool. You cannot pull unclosed objects into 3D. That's not how geometry works, okay? So watch what happens. If I finish the sketch and hit E, nothing is going to happen. And even if I click on this, I'm going to get some error. It even tells you there's no valid closed regions. So if this happens to you, you need to go back and fix this. Okay, so look at the left-hand side here. This is a kind of a list of everything I've done. So I can see here that first I made this rectangle, then I made the hole in there, then I made the sketch. Well, I'm on this step. So what you can do is right-click, edit the sketch. Okay, and I can go back and close this. And you're snapping to the end of lines with the green point. That's really important. Don't like draw from here and do that because that's not closed. You have to, you have to make sure that you're using the green snappy points to know you're on the end of that line. So let's go down there. And there's, see, I almost got tricked, but there's the green snap. Boom. Finish the sketch. E for extrude. Again, you can rotate around this. That's important. Maybe I only want it out a little bit. You can use this if you're more comfortable, but if you need like precise numbers, you need to type them. So like if I wanted 0.06, I'm not going to get that, using this. So I would type in here 0.06 and hit OK. Okay. Let me show you another thing. I'm gonna put a sketch on here. I'm going to draw multiple objects. So let's say I want to draw like 2 objects or 3 objects. Let's do 3. Go like this. Finish the sketch, hit E for extrude, and nothing happens. When you have multiple objects sketched, you have to click inside for the ones you want to extrude. So let's say I can go like that. It's like 3 of them. You know, I'm fine with the distance. That's fine. 0.06, hit OK. Okay. You can do a bunch of stuff in Inventor, but that is just the basic loop, I like to call it. The sketch and the extrude, the finishing of the sketch, the selecting the plane you're on. We're going to talk about how to put work planes on non-flat objects and how to do some more complex stuff, but that is the basic loop in Inventor. That should get you started.